Welcome to this free training where I'll show you how to use this toolkit that's designed especially for ECE teachers to figure out if they were to start a daycare based out of their home, or if they were to rent something where they can live and start a daycare business. Then this toolkit is something that will guide you through every step of the way, and I will go over everything that's available to you at no cost. This video will give you a complete breakdown of exactly what you need to know. All right, so let's get started. The number one thing is you're already doing this on a daily basis, working at somebody else's daycare. And everything that I share with you today comes from experience. I own and operate commercial and residential daycares. What I've experienced personally in the last 10 years of doing this, residential daycares are a lot easier to set up in comparison to commercial daycare. The only reason being there's a lot less red tape involved. There's no architect needed. There's no revisions needed with city back and forth. You already have the space. And especially if you own a home that has a basement suite, roughly 8 to 900 square feet of square footages available that you are currently maybe renting out or not even using, you can dedicate that space into a licensed daycare. And that's exactly what we talk about today. So you're an ECE teacher, it's time to own your classroom. You've spent years building somebody else's business and you finally want to do this for yourself. This is what you need to know. So the complete checklist is in front of us, the licensing toolkit. Number one thing you want to do is get criminal records done for everybody that lives on the property. Criminal record check has to be submitted to your local health authority for approvals. As long as that comes out clear, you should be fine. And again, this is done because the number one concern before a license is granted is the safety of kids. Now, this toolkit specially is designed for Fraser Valley in BC, but similar to this, we are working on creating toolkits for different areas, different cities, different provinces within the country, within Canada. So if you are from somewhere else outside of BC or Fraser Valley, feel free to drop a comment and I will personally reach out to you to share the resources that you need to get this up and running. All right, so once that is done, criminal record check, number one thing. The reason why you want to do it first before you do any other steps is simply because it takes longer to process. So by the time you're done other steps, that is ready to go, and then your application can be submitted. Number second, you have to purchase an application package. Typically costs around $75 to $100. In Fraser Valley from Fraser Health, it's $75 for this application package. And you can go to a local Fraser Health office to purchase this. And once you have this, it will come with a checklist that we're going to go through right now as well, that you have to fill out, which basically becomes your business plan and your application package. So these are the things that you need to put together. Once you've done that, the third most important thing is your floor plans, your building plans, and your site plan. This is the layout proposal of where what will go. So for example, three elements every daycare needs to have is a classroom, a playroom, and a nap room. So you have to label that on your floor plan. You have to really go in with a turnkey operation that you're proposing to the city or Fraser Health for the review. You cannot figure it out as you go. You have to figure it out first, put everything together, and then take that package to them. That's the only way you can cut the timeline and get faster approvals. Otherwise, if you make any mistakes or you leave some stuff that you are supposed to fill out initially and you don't do that, you'll have to basically go back in the queue and wait for them to respond to you. That adds to your timeline. We will chat about the timeline towards the end as well, and some tips that can help you fast track this process. So keep watching if you are somebody that's really serious about starting your own business finally. And now once you have done the labels, you've made the floor plans, the site plans, the next step is basically to complete your medical health check. That is also a part of the application package. Now for qualifications within Fraser Valley, what's required is your certification. And if you're planning on hosting a 30 months and under age group, IT is infant toddler certification. That also is needed. If you don't have that, you can also hire someone that does have that. Honestly speaking, we'll talk about the numbers too. This is only feasible if you are the owner operator. You can still walk away with a decent profit if you were to hire somebody full time, and we have done that at our locations, but it only makes sense if you have multiple locations, okay? And if you're going to work somewhere anyways, you may as well work on your own business. Now, if you're also serving food, you need food safe certification. Just a recommendation, we don't do food at our locations just because of, so many different factors that come into it, allergies, and, kids may like something one day, may not like something the next day. So we let parents send the meals. We do provide snacks. So that's something you can take away. It's just less headache for you as the owner operator. And now this is the most important part. What do you need to have in a home for it to be approved for a daycare business? Okay, so number one thing, you have to confirm your zoning and if that allows for a daycare. Typically speaking, 90% zoning for residential homes does allow for a daycare as long as the layout is feasible and there's enough space for parking and for play area for the kids. Smoke detectors on every level near every sleeping area is needed. Water is also checked for any anomalies that could potentially cause any problems. So that is also something that needs to be checked. The temperature has to be maintained as well. And then you have to make the home child-proof. You have to lock away anything that could be a potential safety hazard. And the specifications of exactly how much space you need is available in this toolkit. And then again, outdoor play area as well. It has to be safe. It is a must-have unless you live right next to a park and you can get permission in writing to do the play area hours in the park. Then you're okay. You don't need a dedicated play space. But that's very rare that if you own a home that backs onto the park and you can get permission from the city to use that as play area for specific hours during the day, then you'll get by without having a play area on your own property. So that's that. Once all this is done, you apply for the city business license. Everything is done. Licensing officers approve everything. You have to get a liability insurance. Then you have to actually work on operating the business. So the next steps are creating a parent handbook, apply for the grants that are available to you. Now, different provinces have different grants to start up your home-based daycare as well. Yes, they're not a lot. They're $1,000 to $3,000, but definitely helps for the setup cost. And then there's a bunch of other grants available when your operation starts, like CCFR, and then you have wage enhancement. All that is covered in this toolkit as well. And this is a very interactive toolkit. So as you complete the steps, and you can take your time with it. It shows you how far along you have gotten. And if you are confused if you do decide to purchase this toolkit, you also get a free one call with myself and my team. We go over any roadblocks that you may face, and that will allow you to get more clarity on the process to get going to apply for your business license. Also, a part of this toolkit is all the requirements that you need in a home. For example, if you're proposing a multi-age in-home daycare, what is the total square footage you need? How much is the indoor space you need? What is the requirement for toilets per 8 kids, diaper changing stations? How much does it have to be exactly the square footage? All that is covered. And then what are the safety protocols? What kind of fencing you need? What kind of turf you need? What kind of underlay you need? All that is included in this. And not only that, we also give you like detailed program description. We do have a one-on-one consulting package as well, where we work with you personally one-on-one to set everything up. So if you are interested in that, I'll attach a link to book a call with me for that as well. And very cool, this is a space calculator. So you can basically figure out what square footage you have. You will need dimensions. So get a professional floor planner to come in and make these dimensions. One thing I want to point out here, a lot of people have this question. I get a lot of these calls. Can we start a daycare in our garage? Can we start a daycare in a basement that we constructed without permits? The answer is no. Anything that's done without permits cannot pass building inspection when the time comes. So don't make that mistake. And if you have something, for example, a garage converted into a basement suite or a studio, decommission it, convert it back into a garage before you do this. Otherwise, your building inspection most likely will fail and you will have wasted all this time. Okay, so keep that in mind. But once you have these dimensions, you can input that here on the screen, and then it will tell you exactly how many kids can be approved. And then there's also a revenue calculator, and you have access to this in the free trial, by the way. So you can do some research based on what daycares around you are charging, make a few calls, and you can input these numbers right here. Average, just ballparking it for Fraser Valley. For a multi-age in-home daycare, you're looking at around $10,000 to $11,000 per month, including all the grants and all the subsidies that you get from the government. So adding all that up, this is what you're looking at, and this is a full breakdown of what you net after paying your liability insurance, supplies, materials, snacks, admin costs, software cost, all of that. This is what you get to walk away with based on this fees. And then there's information about all these grants that are available. You will also find for Fraser Valley, again, this is specific for that, but I can help you if you are somewhere else as well. Exactly the phone numbers you need to call, people you need to talk to get certain things like building plans. If you don't want to get a floor plan done, you can actually get a building plan for less than $30. I think it's about $27 from the city. And Chilliwack just gives it for free, basically. You can just send them an email with the address and authorization. They'll send it to you for free. All the information is right here, exactly what you need to know. So, and then again, let's talk about the timeline. I promised you guys we'll talk about the timeline. And then if you want access to this, I'll attach a link to that as well. You can click, use the free trial. And if you do want more information, there's a one-time cost of $197, but you get access to this for a lifetime. So even if you take 2 years, 3 years to plan, and anytime there's an update, any changes that are being made, everything is updated on this portal right here. And timeline wise, let's come back to that and we'll sum up this video. Timeline is about 10 to 12, I would say 14 weeks, so 3 to 4 months for a home-based daycare, which is pretty fast compared to commercial that can take up to a year, sometimes even past 12 months. The reason being, when you do commercial, there's architect plans involved, and anytime there's a small revision that needs to be made, let's just say you submit the plans to the city and the city says, hey, this is cool, but this is not cool, whatever the case is, you get the point. You have to revise it again, the architects take their time, then they submit it to the city, then they take their time, and then finally when everything is approved, by the way, you can't just start construction, you have to wait for the building permits. That adds another 2-3 months to the timeline. But for a home-based daycare, none of that is needed. You already have the space. You just have to make sure that it's feasible for a layout that can be designed for a daycare use. Okay, so number one thing, again, start with criminal record check so you can save some time there. Research and preparation shouldn't take more than 2-3 weeks. Once that is done, purchase your Fraser Health package. Once that is done, including your floor plan, site plan, business plan, safety procedures, a parent handbook, all that goes into the application. So yeah, it can take even up to a month if you are somebody that has never done this before. Once that is all done, prepare your home, submit that application. Once the application is submitted, you're looking at month 2, week 7, 8 at this point. And once that is done, you will be called by Fraser Health licensing officer or your local health authority licensing officer for a visit. This is when they come check out your place. At this point, it has to be turnkey ready. For example, if they were to give you the license today, you're starting to operate tomorrow, the space needs to look like a daycare. But once this is done, you still have to go through inspections, typically 3 inspections: building inspection, fire inspection, and electrical inspection. These can be arranged within a week's time, on the same day sometimes as well. Once you pass these inspections, then the Fraser Health basically gives you the license and you can start operating. Now, your license, the next part is marketing and operations. So what I usually do for our location and for people that I help, we start marketing right after Fraser Health approves the business application, before inspections even happen. So we get that 1 month of bonus time where we can start marketing to the neighbors, to the communities that you're opening your daycares in. So by the time you get the license, you already have a few people wanting to come in and take a look at your facility. Your costs are met. Now, if you're hiring somebody, keep in mind that, these costs can go up, but obviously, you have to be prepared for this. You're running a business, you're starting a business. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. So this is really for ECE teachers that are already working in the field and are super passionate about taking care of kids, and now they want to run their own business. Is the best of both worlds. You're already doing 80% of the work. You just have to learn the 20% of how to run your own business. Once this license comes, you can officially start operating your own business, make 10 grand a month. And if you hire somebody, pay them 5 grand even, you're still walking away with $5,000 per month. Once again, if you do want help and want to connect for a session to talk about if this is something that is a good fit for you, or if your property qualifies, we do a free feasibility check for your property. Reach out to me using the link, book a call. This is Raj. Follow, subscribe if you are looking for similar content. The next video I drop will be next week, and that will be about commercial daycare breakdown, including a toolkit and the exact steps that you need to get going to open up a commercial location.